Good evening, Matthew. I'm seeing only you. I don't know that the course only has a student.
Good evening, sir. It's not that we're not senior course on Arian, so I'd have to ask the rest of them to look in the class guide for the link.
Oh, okay. Can you share the link with them? I think probably. Do you have the link and share with them, or do you want me to send it? I could send it, share it in the chat, and see if you could copy and share it with them.
I can share it with them.
Oh yeah, share it with them and see if that's a way if they can join the class that way. Okay.
All right, sir.
Okay. You sound familiar. Have I taught you before?
No, we got a course on our timetable last semester, and then they ended up canceling, and we're doing it this semester.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, evening, guys. I'm just waiting for other persons to join us. I'm seeing only 3 students. I don't know that the course, well, first of all, I don't think they would have offered the course if it was just 3 students in the class. So let's wait a few more minutes. Matthew, by chance, do you know how many persons should be in the class?
Not 100% sure, sir, but Probably 10 or more.
Right, because all of you are doing supply chain. You are, I think you're doing what, the diploma in supply chain or the associate degree? Right, so it's a little bit above 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's wait a few more minutes. Hopefully they, because I'm actually not seeing the course itself on Canvas either. So I actually reached out to the administrators. So hopefully, I think that's probably the challenge many people are having. Yes, good evening, Rashid Tucker. I think that's a challenge. So let's wait a few more minutes. Hopefully persons join us. And then we see what will happen. I'll turn off my camera until other persons are here because I'm actually doing some other things. Trying to get on the phone with some of the persons who can publish the course on Canvas as well. All right, so I'll turn off my camera for now until I see some more persons join. All right, guys. I don't know where the other persons are. Evening again. Have we tried to reach out to, I know Matthew has been helping me in terms of making contact with some of your classmates. And I also know that the course is not on Canvas because I wasn't able to locate it either. And Rashid is indicating that it should be about 10 students. Should be exactly 10 students. Am I correct, Rashid?
Yes, sir, around that. Roughly 9 or 8. I guess it's a case where if most is not at work, they would be having problems registering for the class. So that would be the ideal scenario.
Oh, so that could be those could be some of the issues.
But what I
Why do
can
these?
do, we have a WhatsApp group, so I can send them the link now and let me see who can join.
Yeah, please do. So let's wait another. I'll give you another 2 or 3 minutes or so to send send the link in the WhatsApp group and just indicate to them that the class has started and that I'm waiting for them to join us. All right, so let's wait another 5 minutes and see what happens. All right. The class is already small, and summer school is really short. As you know, I think summer school ends in August. We are at the latter part or we're in mid-June. So there's not much time for us to really delay anything at all. I think in the interest of completing the course outline and in fairness to you, I'm just going to begin and see how much we can accomplish for the remaining portion of the class. All right, so I'll just give you general introduction. Is it possible for you guys to turn on your cameras? Usually that's something that we would love as lecturers for our students, just to be able to see you, because I don't know. I've done this about 2 years. I've taught students who I've never seen before, even though they have been with me for months. Is it possible for any of you or all of you to turn on your cameras, Adel, Matthew, Rashid, and Roland? Is that possible? All right, so next class. All right, fair enough. All right, so my name is Robin Clark, and I have been working at Excelsior since 2000 and 2011. Started out as a assistant lecturer, and I resigned in February of this year, left as the Dean of Marketing. I was in charge of the marketing department. I actually now reside in Canada. So even though it's 7:24 in Jamaica, it's actually 8:24 where I am. I reside in Ontario. So this is my second, I think this is my second time teaching this course. This course is I would say something that I enjoy teaching, and I always enjoy teaching because I did my first degree in international relations. So looking all of the world affairs, what is happening in places like Ukraine, watching CNN, stuff like that, all of those international matters, looking at international business in its many manifestations, whether it be in regards to forming bilateral agreements or multilateral agreements, looking at places or agreements such as Nafta, CARICOM, the Caribbean-based initiative in the 1980s under, I think that was under former Prime Minister Edward Seaga. Yeah, so I have a lot of background in international business because that's what I did my first degree in. Then I did my master's in cultural studies, and there I had to look at what I would call the political and the cultural development of Jamaica in relation to other world affairs, and how, for example, the politics of the day, especially during the 1980s, when there was a shift from democratic socialism to neoliberalism. So there was Michael Manley was a democratic socialist, and then when he lost the 1980s election, Mr. Edward Seaga was elected prime minister, who embraced neoliberalism. So that in and of itself also will be discussed in the course over some period of time. Then I did my my teacher diploma. So I have a postgraduate diploma in teaching English language as a English language education. And then I left Jamaica in 2019 to live in Canada, came here to do marketing research. So I have a postgraduate certificate in that. And then I also did a diploma in teaching English as a second language. So I have, my background is very diverse. So outside of working as a teacher or as a lecturer for so long, I think over a decade, I've taught not only at Excelsior, but at the University of the West Indies. I think for about 5 years I taught there. I've also taught UTech nurses. I teach academic writing. I've taught at IUC, which is International University of the Caribbean, as well as UCC. I've worked at UCC for 6 years, somewhere thereabout. I've done some extensive work there. So I have a very big rich background. I was on radio. I was on Nationwide for a year as a co-host of a program called Love and Sex with Dr. Karen Carpenter. Yeah. And so I know I live in Canada, work in Canada, I work in marketing and recruitment and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's just a little bit of me. what I'd want for you to do now is just to introduce yourselves. So tell me your name, what is your major? And I want for you to find an image that reflects who you are, that reflects your personality, and kind of explain why you have selected this, or tell us how this image actually reflects your personality, and also what you think the course is about. So let me just put all of that in the chat so that you can, so name, let's say your course of study or program, let me say program. So an image that reflects your personality and why, and what you think the course is about. All right, are you seeing it in the chat? Are you seeing it in the chat? Can I get some?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. All right, so what I'll do, I'll give you 5 minutes or so just to prepare, because I want you to share screen. When you find the image, I want you to actually share screen so that we can all see the image that you have selected, and when you're talking, okay?
Sir, question. You say
Sir,
Yes,
you
hold
work
on.
overseas. So is it a case that you did your diploma locally here in Jamaica?
Which diploma? I have two diplomas. I did one in Jamaica and I did one in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So I studied in Jamaica and I studied in Canada. I came to, when I came, the route I took to come to Canada was, I came as a student. So I studied at Centennial. So that's one of the routes. If you, we can get into how to become a student, how to actually, reside or move to Canada. That one of the easiest routes is just to become a student. But we can talk about that, all right? Because I actually work at a university here. Oh yes, I should have said that. My current job is that I work at a university in Canada. I'm an outreach advisor there. At least I'm the outreach advisor there, which means that I work with partner schools, many private colleges in Canada, for their students to come to the university to complete their bachelor's degree. Because the way they structure the system here in Canada is a little bit different from Jamaica. You have what are called diplomas, which is 2 years. Then you have advanced diploma, which is 3 years, and you have the bachelor's degree. So most of the private colleges, they offer a 1-year diploma, actually. 1-year diploma. Some of them do it online, and then you can use that to come and complete a bachelor's degree at the university that I work. But we'll get into that eventually if persons have an interest in that particular year. Okay. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes, and then we can discuss. I'm almost sure someone else was saying something though. I heard another voice. Go ahead.
yes, sir, it is me, Kemar.
Yes.
I'm using my cell phone, my location that I'm at now. I will be unable to share screen and all of that.
Right. So what you can do, you can share the image in the chat, and I'll share screen on your behalf.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes, and then just to kind of just to kind of think about what I've asked you to do is a general introduction, and then we discuss. Okay. So it's now, let me say, it's 7:31 in Jamaica. So at 7:36 we resume. All right. So I gave you a few additional minutes. So I'm going according to the list as it appear on the platform. Kemar Murphy, you are up first. Let's hear it.
Sir, just give me a few minutes. I'm having some little difficulty. Just a few more minutes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let me move on to Kenya Nesbeth. Go ahead for me, Kenya Nesbeth. Kenya, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good evening. Sorry, you were here earlier when I asked everyone to kind of do an introduction.
No, sir. I joined a bit late.
Oh, you joined a bit late. Okay, all right. So just listen to what they're doing and then you'll go last, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right. Matthew Ellis, go ahead for me.
Good night, sir. I'm
Good evening.
Mark Ellis and I'm doing logistics and supply chain management. I don't really have a picture that reflects my personality.
And can you describe your personality then?
No, sir.
You're on a job interview, sir. You're a college student and you're on a job interview and they ask you and they say to you, tell me, describe your personality to us. Tell me, what would you say? I'm your potential employer and I ask you to describe your personality because I want to determine whether or not you are a perfect match for the organizational culture or for the culture of my organization. What would you say?
I would say that I'm a person that is very active in sports.
What kind of sports you play?
I play football and field hockey.
And why do you have a passion for both?
Because I enjoy the game itself.
All right. And the other part of it now is, what do you think the course is about?
I think it's about a business that does trade internationally.
So we're looking at one business. You said you are looking at a business. Are we going to look at only a business or are we going to look at businesses?
Businesses.
Okay.
More than that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Matthew. The other person I'm seeing on my list is Alray. Go ahead, Alray.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening. You hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I didn't get any picture that I could use to actually describe the type of person I am. However, as you may know, my first name is Alray. My last name is Osset. I am a student of the logistics and supply chain management.
Are you guys doing an associate degree or is it a diploma?
It's an associate's degree we're doing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm a very hardworking person. I always try to get my work done on time. I work very well with persons. I always try to give my work the maximum effort, ensure that it's done properly. What I think about this course is that it's more likely a global, as it said, international. So I'm thinking about like the economy, the trading of goods, as it relates to supply chain. How does the goods come from, or even the material, or travel from one states to another. For example, oil. You know that we don't produce oil in Jamaica. You know that we outsource it out to other country. You know how the whole logistics process came in, as it relates to how it gets to Jamaican and how it has been utilized.
Yeah,
So
and how
that's
now,
just-
and how now you, well, at least I think in all parts of the world, they are paying significant, significant amounts for gasoline or for petrol. It's like
Yes, sir.
ridiculous in the States. In Canada, I think they complain, but not as much as it is in the US, because if I remember correctly, I think we produce oil in Canada. So I think that probably is part of the reason it is not as expensive as it is in other parts of the world. And you're correct in terms of looking at the kind of logistics, or the logistics of getting the stuff across different parts of the world. And I can think, I'm not sure anybody has ever seen the movie The Captain.
No, sir, I haven't.
Because it's a movie that it's actually on Netflix, but it actually, let me just show you guys, you may have seen it. Isn't it called Captain? Okay. No, hold on, give me one sec. I want to show you, because this actually falls within logistics and some of the issues. Let me go to my Netflix account on my phone, because I just recently watched, when I was on the subway, I was watching it. Was it Captain, or it's called, yeah, oh, Captain Phillips. I was not getting all the right. Right, so let me just show you. No one has ever heard of that movie, Captain Phillips?
Yes, sir. We heard of Captain Phillips, the movie.
Sir, the one with the, oh yeah, yes, sir.
Right, so this is a movie that gets into the difficulties of supply chain and logistics and all of that. All right, so thanks for that. Say that again?
If I'm not cutting it, sir, but after watching that movie and doing a little research on it, they were, based off my understanding, they said that the captain was disobeying orders, as he was told that, what was those people called in the movie again? The attackers. Let me just put it at that for now. The attackers in the movie.
Pirates.
The pirates, yes, thank you. The pirate in the movie, he was warned that they would be in the air, and he was told to deviate from going so close to the air that they're prone to attacking. And upon doing that, he did not. And that's the main reason why they were attacked. So they kind of blamed him. The crew members blamed him for that. I don't know if you ever heard of the documentary about what.
Well, in the movie that actually came up as one of the discussions, and his response to that was, any route you go, you're going to come across pirates. So you have to just pick the best of, or they say you have to pick the best of the two demons, right? So it was it really reflected something that was happening at the time, in when they're talking about supply chains and moving containers across the world, and where they actually have to, the seas that they have to pass through, and the kinds of difficulties and challenges that they face. But it also brought to the fore the fact that you have many African countries where high levels of poverty and unemployment and violence, and when people are unable to take care of themselves and their families, then they will resort to violence. So there was a dual narrative, or dual narratives in the movie. And I think what happened thereafter, well, not just out of the movie, but generally, they started helping these countries to prevent them from attacking these cruise ships, or these ships as they're going across the high seas. So it was a very interesting movie, and I brought it up because it fits within the context of the course. And you never know if any of you guys might end up working on a ship. I recommend that when you finish your bachelor's degree that you go all the way to, when you finish your diploma, that you go and complete your bachelor's degree, because many companies, that's what they're looking for. They not just want you to have an associate degree, unless you plan to stay at, unless you plan to be frontline staff. But if you really want to move into management, many times they're going to require much higher credentials. All right, thanks for that. The next person, I think, Kemar Murphy, have you gone yet? I think you wanted a few more minutes, and I think we have given you more than enough. Kemar Murphy, go ahead for me.
Sir, just 1 second.
You need another second? I think I gave you 5 a while ago.
Okay.
5 minutes. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kemar Murphy. The program I am studying is supply chain management, and the image that really reflects my personality is a lion. The reason why I choose a lion is because lions are considered to be very aggressive, right? And when I really look at the information that's surrounding the personality of a lion, it states that lions are predictable and dependable. Others always know where they stand with a lion, and their confidence and leadership abilities make them successful CEOs. And actually, and those are the traits that I really would match to myself to say that I would those characteristics would then compare the personality of a lion. That is actually me.
So are you predictable?
Yes, because what I am doing, I make it very transparent. So in my task or anything, it's always transparent. So persons will definitely know, what I don't really, I'm not a secretive person when it comes on to decision making. I throw it out in the public to get other responses and seek audience before I move forward.
Okay.
So in that sense.
Yeah.
All right.
What in terms of the course now?
In terms of the course, international business. What I expect to gain from this course is because I would know to some extent about the Jamaican stage, about business, but I think this course I would expect to get some international standards of how things are being done, some policies, some procedure and so forth, because I am learning, therefore, and as the subject state, international business. So I'm looking forward to learn some international things.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Murphy. Rashid Tucker, go ahead.
Good evening, sir, class. It's Rashid. Name is Rashid Tucker. Course I am currently studying is supply chain management, right? And an image that reflects my personality. That one was kind of stolen a minute ago. But the image that I was going for was the same one that Kemar would have populated, was the lion, as the lion is one that goes for what he wants, and that is something that can describe me. I go for what I want and let nothing stops me, right? What I think the course is about, when it comes down to international business, I would think about like I can't really say sir, but shares and the whole latter.
And I didn't hear the last part.
Latter.
Latter means last. What is the latter? What could you clarify that? What do you mean by latter?
First the business, like if, for example, Amazon. Let me use Amazon as a good example. Amazon is an international business. You can be anywhere in the world and order something from Amazon, and it falls right in the whole aspect of supply chain, because Amazon has to do with supply chain management, has to do with goods, moving of goods, inventory management, and such.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Roland Thompson, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Good evening, classmates. My name is Roland Thompson, and the course of study is logistics and supply chain management. And as you would have known, that we are presently doing the associate degree with the intention to go further. The image that best describes me, I don't know, I can't pin it down to a specific animal type, because I was looking in the animal kingdom to see animal that best describes me. However, I think at times I find myself being a mix of an introvert as also an extroverted person. And when I was looking at an image that would best describe my personality, is a mix between a lion, could be even a beaver. What they said is that they said the beaver is analytical, industrious, self-disciplined, right? And the lion is more like a leader, independent. Right. So there, and I'm seeing even an image of, seems to be a dog, but I guess the specific dog, but within the personality type, it says easygoing, dependable, quiet, and stuff like that. And so I think I'm a mixture of the different personality types. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think I have qualities that captures some of the attributes or the types, traits, sorry, of these type of animals, right? So I'm still trying to find myself, try to fully understand myself, because sometimes, depending on the era that you're focusing on, the era of work and all of that, and dealing with people and the public, sometimes a little bit of these traits come out at times, and form part of your personality. As relates to the course, international business, off the top of my head, I'm thinking about, as I already said earlier, matters has to do with logistics, and I'm looking at business relationships, the cultural aspect of certain political issues also, how that ties into business, the cultural dynamics surrounding how we do business and how that factor into business. And as you alluded earlier, like political issues could be religious issues, and how it affects business from a global perspective, So like you mentioned Ukraine and all of that. So I'm looking at it from a broader perspective to see how, to get a better understanding as to, why what happens.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Roland. And I think Kenya, by now, I think possibly you could just reflect what everyone has been doing in terms of introducing themselves. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Kina Nesbeth. I'm studying logistics and supply chain management, like the rest of the class. I'm getting for an associate degree with plans to go further. I have been sitting here and wondering what I could use to describe myself, but I have come up empty-handed, honestly, and I think it's probably because I'm not really sure who I am yet. I can't give you a distinctive answer. It might change tomorrow. So, what I expect from this class, to be very honest, I expect us to concentrate more on the supply chain or business and how it works abroad, not just in Jamaica, but everywhere else in the Caribbean and America and Europe and other places, so we can get a better understanding of how it works over there, because not everything that happens over here happens over there. What else were you asking, sir?
That was it. If you
That
want
was
to
it?
say more, that was it. But if you
Oh.
want to say more, fine.
All right, it's okay, sir. All right.
All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for the introductions. Are we all working in the area now? I hear you are doing logistics and supply chain management. Are we all working in that area, or it's more an area of aspiration?
I am, sir.
Okay, so Kemar is working.
I am, sir.
Okay. All right. So Rashid is
You could say the same thing for me too, sir.
okay. So Rashid, why are you doing the course then? If it's not aspirational, or you're not working in the area?
Well, sir, well, for me, sir, it can be in a sense, it can be aspirational because I want to join the army per se. In the line of business in the army, I would say it can be supply chain, as I've researched and noticed that they have a very large field and it can play a very big part in the role that I want to do, because I want to be an officer, and it's mostly officers handle inventory. So it could play a very big part. So it's just something that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and logistics actually, logistics in the military, or in the military or in the constabulary force is a very big role. As I say to you, if you really want to do logistics and supply chain management, go all the way up to a master's degree. That's where you kind of make yourself different. You become more competitive when you have a master's degree. You kind of stand out. Have greater knowledge, greater depth, and matching having a master's degree and actually working in the area is a very good combination. So that's something that you should think about. All right, so thanks for the introductions. Just going to walk us through some what I call housekeeping matters. So let's first of all look at the course outline to see if our assumptions were correct. Let me take some things off my screen first of all. I have several things open. I actually teach another course, so some of those things are open. So let's take some of these things off. This is the old course outline. All right, so let's share screen. Let me just make sure I don't have anything open that should not be open. You know, sometimes these things have a way of embarrassing you. So, okay, I don't have anything open that should not be open. Okay. No, let's go into here. ECC. Let's courses, international business. I don't think the course outline has actually changed. This is somehow, do I have the, yeah, here it is. All right, are you seeing my screen? Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Do you have I don't think, do you have a copy of the course outline?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet, okay, all right, good. All right, so it says, the course is designed to prepare students to utilize the concepts of international business in the global business environment. The course aims to facilitate a better understanding of areas such as international business, financial strategies, international trade and investment, and implementing business strategies. All right, let's see the objectives. So understand international business issues. Some persons made mention of them. For example, how global politics affect how international businesses operate, how religion can affect how international businesses operate, for example. And this is something, you know, it's very, we would say that it's not reflective of Jamaican culture. But in Canada now, we have what is called Pride Month. And of course, many of the businesses that are here, even the international ones, there is a kind of not forced way for them to reflect or protect diversity, as it is called in Canada, but they have to ensure that they have what is called like a diversity policy. So not just members of the LGBT community, but when you're living in a country like Canada, let's just say a business wants to operate in Canada, you have to think about diversity and equity. So I'm a Black person, I work and let's just say the company is all white. The issue of diversity comes up again. So those are some of the issues. When it talks about international business issues, you might have to, we'll actually discuss in many parts. Let's just say that you're going to open a business in the Middle East. You know, there are restrictions in terms of the participation of women in the economy and how they can actually dress and the things that they can actually do in a business. You look at things like how the culture affects international business and whether or not the environment of a country facilitates an international business setting up shop. All right. Understand how to apply appropriate strategies to business perspective. We're going to look at some of the theoretical terrains, some of the theories that will help us to understand businesses and the evolution or the etymology of businesses, for example, mercantilism and what was happening at the time. We're going to look at the transatlantic slave trade. It's kind of tracing the history of the development of international business and the kinds of, we call them theory, or I want to call them philosophies that guide the kinds of international agreements or economic and trade agreements that are formed and the kinds of alliances that are formed internationally. You have the G8, you have international entities such as the United Nations, but you have international entities too that affect international businesses. For example, the World Bank, you have the IMF that plays a role in terms of lending money to some countries and how that can affect issues, international businesses operating. You have as well the World Trade Organization that actually regulates. We're going to talk a lot about the World Trade Organization how they regulate international trade. Some persons are of the view that the World Trade Organization, for example, is really in the pocket of Western countries, specifically America, not even Canada, even though Canada and the United States is North America. Another issue you might talk about are the kinds of bilateral agreements that are formed or multilateral agreements. So I'm sure you have heard about Nafta, the North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement. And one benefit of that in Canada is if you're a permanent resident or a citizen, you can actually study in the United States and pay domestic rate. Students who are in Mexico can pay domestic rate. So I have to deal with students who want to come in, who are international students. And if they're from the United States and if they're from Mexico, they pay domestic rate. However, if a student, let's just say one of you want to come and study at the university where I work, you have to pay international fee, right? So those kinds of issues and how these kinds of international agreements, how they affect people and everyday survival or everyday living. Select and use appropriate sources to gather information and data needed for international business decisions. Of course, you're talking about market research. We're talking about a whole range of stuff. All right, define key international business terms and concepts. We're going to look at terms like globalization, internationalization. We're going to look at global economy, local economy, a whole range of concepts that are involved or that are part and parcel of this understanding international business. You're going to look at what is considered to be a bilateral agreement, a multilateral agreement. Can't think of every single thing, but those are some of the terms that comes to mind. Identify how cultural variables affect business. Very, very important. Again, I make mention of how cultures around the world can affect how an international business, whether even an international business operates within the country, all right, or whether or not they kind of franchise it. So it might be that they choose to do it as a franchise, or they might do it as a public-private partnership between them and government. I'm sure you see China Harbor operating in Jamaica and the kinds of discussions that are happening. Sometimes persons are saying we need to use local contractors. And now we're having the challenge of the local contractors actually not being able to deliver. I think this is on the leg to when they're some part of the highway leading out to St. Thomas. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that issue. Hello?
No.
Sir, I know about the one around Junction.
Is it Junction? What are they saying about the Junction one? Remind me.
Sir, that road is building for maybe about 6 to 7 years now and they can't complete.
Right, and it's local contractors, right?
Yeah, local contractors.
Right, and how people are saying that we really should
So people are saying that we should give it these types of contracts, which are so huge, we should give them to international contractors
right.
because Jamaica don't really have the resources to actually take on them job.
Sometimes it's not the resources, they are just political, they are just corrupt. So what they do, they delay the work in order to gain benefit.
That are true.
Sometimes
too.
it's not just that they're not able to do the work, they're just corrupt. So they delay it, and what happens is that money, they get millions and millions of dollars. China Harbor probably would have finished it within 2 years. Local contractors, 6-7 years, and they're still doing it, and they're inconveniencing a whole range of people. All right, so let me not get into this because I'm going to actually give you an activity that will require you to kind of get some, to talk about some of those things. So that was one, that's one. Discuss the different types of economic, political, and legal systems that are there, and their impact on businesses. Again, you're talking about the kinds of economic philosophies. So whether it be democratic socialism, whether it be neoliberalism, or Americans like to say free market capitalism, whether it be the term they use in China, oh God, what's the term again? They call it quasi-capitalism, but that's not the term. I can't remember. It's not quasi-capitalism, but it's really a mix between communism and free market capitalism, and issues, for example, relating to how China is able to, and this is the accusation by the United States and many other countries, how they're able to devalue their currency in order to ensure that people are constantly importing from their country. So in other words, it's cheaper to buy from China versus another country. We can't really blame China because of China, many of us in Jamaica now have flat screen TV and DVD. You remember, I'm not sure if you guys, how old you are. I'm almost 40, but back in the day, to have a DVD in your house or even a video, what they used to call it again, a video recorder was a big thing because those things were very high premium. And what happened, China kind of leveled the playing field in terms of making these things very affordable. So every Jamaican now, even if you live in Tivoli or you live in Denham Town, you live in any inner city area, people have curved TVs. So how those kinds of system now, international businesses have kind of leveled the playing field and kind of, are you also going to look at regional blocks, for example, the Asian tiger, looking at, what's the other one called? Can't remember some of them off my head. You have Asian tiger. I know you have Nafta. You have, no, it's not Carifta. You have, I don't remember the African one. There's one with the African Alliance. I can't remember everything off the top of my head. Compare and contrast major trade theories. And I mentioned mercantilism, neoliberalism, world systems theory. Kind of talking off the top of my head. Yeah, don't remember everything, but we're going to look at some of those theories and how those theories help us to understand international business and how they operate in terms of trade or world trade. Discuss international exchange rates and their effects on global business. Again, we can see this in, or anybody drives and have to go to the gas station to buy petrol.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I'm sure you're feeling it in your pockets, right?
Heavily.
Heavily, right. Some persons are wondering if they if they can now walk or take the bus because the exchange rate, because of what is happening in the Ukraine, and it's not just for petrol, it's also affecting food prices. And even in terms of supply chain, there, for example, I want to buy my aunt's car from her, but she can't sell me yet because the car that she has ordered, they're waiting for a chip for that car to come from China. But because of things that are happening in the world, there's a short supply because China know they make the chip, but all the chips are not made in China. Parts of it they need parts from other parts of the world. And we know that there are so many things happening now. We see that, for example, what is happening in Russia, the war in Ukraine caused by Russia is affecting prices. And when gasoline prices go up, it has a chain reaction. International exchange rate, my good friend will come in and do the guest lecture. He's far more knowledgeable about it than I am because he works in the banking sector and this is his area of expertise. So I've asked him to come in and do a guest lecture on this. I'll be a student in the class as well. I know a little bit about international exchange rate because I had to do it as part of my own studies when I did my first degree, but he's far more knowledgeable and he's dealing with it every single day. So I've asked him to come in and talk a little bit about international exchange rates. But I'm sure too, if any of us have persons who send money to us, we see the benefits of Jamaica, of a weakened Jamaican dollar when money is sent from overseas. However, we complain or it doesn't work well, for example, if you want to study in Canada. So the school fee, let's just say that you're planning to come to Canada to do an associate degree in, let's just say supply chain management, it's like 16, 17 or 18,000 Canadian dollars. When you times that by Jamaica, by times like 100 and something, you're looking at over probably 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 million dollars. So exchange rate again affects a whole range of things. And global businesses are not just private sector businesses, but even institutions. Because in Canada now, the university I work, we target a lot of international students. And what we now do, we go after students who can actually pay. So we go for students from India, they don't complain about money. They kind of have it. Same thing for students in China or in the Asian Tiger, they have money. So that in and of itself sometimes affects the movements of people. I'll give you another example. Students who are coming from continental Africa, many times their dollar is weak. And as a result, that becomes a factor because when you're coming to Canada to study as a student, you have to show a certain dollar amount in your account. And if you don't have a certain dollar amount, you cannot come to Canada to study. So you see how the exchange rate in and of itself affects the movements of people. And as I said before, global businesses, don't only think of global businesses as being only private sector. We're talking about global businesses, even in terms of universities that are in parts of the world where people want to go and study. So you're talking about the United Kingdom, you're talking about Canada, you're talking about America. Some persons are going to Australia too to study. These are part, and of course, the exchange rate, depending on where you are in the world, it will affect that. And also, you see how the exchange rate in Jamaica sometimes, because of the weakened dollar, it even affects how ordinary Jamaicans are able to buy houses. When, for example, if I live in Canada and let's just say that I have 10,000 Canadian dollars or 20,000 Canadian dollars or 30,000 Canadian dollars, which sometimes is not very difficult to get because you can get it as a line of credit because it's a credit-based society. I can use that and buy an apartment in Jamaica, probably for $14 million, $15 million. The ordinary NHT contributor is not able to do that. So you see, even in terms of exchange rate and how that in of itself affects the ordinary man on the street. You're talking too about how exchange rates might affect even the common man at Coronation Market and other similar spaces where they're importing the goods because it's cheaper. The imported goods are cheaper, not necessarily nutritionally better, but they are cheaper. And that in and of itself, again, affects the ordinary person on the ground. All right, critically analyze the opportunities and risks associated with international business activities. There are some very good examples here. I'm not sure if you've ever heard about the Caribbean Basin Initiative that was initiated by Mr. Siaga, and how really the United States kind of manipulated the Caribbean. And we didn't benefit. There's also, it's called Invitation, what's it called again? Invitation by, give me one sec. I should be able to, I actually wrote an entire, it's called, this is something, Invitation by, so what happened with this theory is, what happened during the 1980s is that many Caribbean countries invited international businesses to come in to set up shop, believing that that would have alleviated unemployment and underemployment. What the Caribbean governments did, the Caribbean governments of the day did, was to give them tax holidays like for 10 to 15 years, What really happened is that many of those global or international businesses, the moment the tax holidays ended or were ending, they left. So Caribbean people never really benefited, and Caribbean people, or let me say Caribbean peoples, really got menial jobs. So they got menial jobs, so they were never part of management. And also to when these international businesses, and it still happens to this day, when the profits are made, the profits are sent back to the home country. It is not actually invested in parts of the Caribbean. And I'm just using the Caribbean as an example because that's where we are all from. So that is another thing. You're going to also talk about, we're going to also discuss ethical issues, issues of ethical concerns, where you find that many large corporate, have you ever seen the movie Blood Diamond?
Yes, sir.
Right. If you remember correctly with Blood Diamond, what happened is many companies in the West that wanted diamond, they could care less about what was happening in the countries where the diamonds were being harvested. They didn't care about the bloodshed, right? And that in and of itself becomes an unethical or ethical concern. So you find that the World Trade Organization, that's partly why you have so many international bodies that regulate international trade. You also have issues relating to child labor, especially in parts of China. You have sweatshops in parts of Brazil. So these are some of the issues that we'll talk about as it relates to international business and some of the risks and opportunities. In terms of opportunities, we're talking about some of the benefits of international businesses setting up shop in home countries. I'm sure you guys are very much aware about some of the discussions relating to the call centers in Jamaica as we speak, and how many educated Jamaicans with their bachelor's degrees and probably even master's degrees have to be working at a call center, and how some of these call centers are not the best, do not provide the best working environment. All right, so those are some of the things and discussions that we'll be having in the course. Make sense? Am I making sense? Making sense so far? Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, so in relation to, I won't go through all of the units because that's what we'll be doing over time. In relation to the assessment, how I did it was that, so there's a final exam. No, usually there wasn't a final exam. I'll try to get I think I have some past papers. I might be able to get some past papers. There wasn't a final exam originally. They have internal tests. So when it comes on to the internal test, what will happen is one will be your mid-semester. You will get a mid-semester exam. I'm almost sure it's going to be MCQ, a multiple choice mid-semester. And then the other will be your, thinking of how I can do this. So you're going to do you're going to do discussion when they have loaded the course onto Canvas. You're going to do discussions because the discussions will keep you abreast, will ensure that you're reading the material. And in terms of your common coursework, this is where you're going to write a research paper. And I have samples of research paper that you can look at. And I'll be there to guide you along the way in terms of the focus. Because the class is small, you're going to work in twos or in pairs. All right, it's easier that way to work in pairs. But I'll flesh this out. I was just kind of giving you an overview of the course, and I have a whole list. What I want to do now is for you to, I want for you to choose an example of, how did I phrase it? How did I phrase it for the other students so I am very, very clear? Let me put it in the chat. Yeah, let's put it in the chat. And I want for you to, you have to share screen now. It's very, very important because we need to see what is happening. So let me just look at this. So I'm going to put in actually the breakout room. Oh, yes. So choose 1 to 2. IB means international business that operates in Jamaica and discuss its or their impact on the country. All right, so choose one or two international business that operates in Jamaica and discuss its impact on the economy. So one or two. Tell me if you're seeing that in the chat. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So it can be a Gleaner article if you want to find like a news report, a news clipping or something like that. You can share the link in the just ensure you have the link. If you're not able to share screen, at least I can share screen, but you must be able to speak about the issue. So one, we want to know the actual international business that you're talking about. And then of course, we're going to have a little discussion about its impact on Jamaica, where they want to look at the pros, the cons, the advantages, disadvantages, however you want to discuss it. All right. I'm going to put you in the breakout room and I'm going to ensure that no room is doing the same international business. Where is the breakout room? Oh, breakout rooms. No. Let's breakout room. Recreate. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to give you 10 minutes. It's now 8:24, so at 8:34, I'm going to open the breakout room, close the breakout room rather. So please go into the breakout room. I'm going to actually, in 5 minutes time, I'm going to come in each breakout room and find out what you're doing, okay? Please go into the breakout room, guys. Rashid, Roland, Alri, Damari, not in the breakout room. Rachel, not in the breakout room. I hope they are actually there. Alri, are you there? Damari, are you there? Rachel, are you there? Roland, are you there? Yes, Roland has gone into the breakout room. Yes, so Damari is the only one. So let me just go in quickly. Alray, were you in one of the breakout rooms? Let's just assign you to one of the breakout rooms. All right, so I think I gave you some additional time just in case for persons who may have joined late. If you want, going forward, this could be the person or persons with whom you work for the major assignment, which is you're going to be asked to write a research paper. So you can, if you and the person had a good interaction, then that could work. All right, so there are two things that I placed in the chat before you do your presentation that I want you to, are you seeing the WhatsApp link that I placed in the chat?
Sir, we wouldn't see it as we were in breakout rooms.
Oh, I thought you guys would still be able to see it. All right, so let me go back into the international business. I want you to join. It's a group that already exists. So my previous students are in there, so I already informed them that if they want to leave, they can leave. But WhatsApp group work. The WhatsApp group works, because I'm going to share the course outline and some additional information in there until Canvas is up and running. So can you just click quickly and join the WhatsApp group, please and thanks. And
I have a little challenge there because I don't have WhatsApp on my system here, but I have it on my phone, so I would have to.
Well, you send the link.
All right, cool.
Yeah. All right, so I see that 3 persons have joined so far, so good. And what I will do as well is to, when most persons are there, I'll just, so I see 4. And then you can now start sharing some of the information with your peers. Let me just see if I can put certain things in there. Courses, international business, no. International business. Oh, those are the recordings. Okay, general. So I've shared the course outline in the WhatsApp group. The other thing that I wanted to do quickly before we do the presentation, all the lectures will be placed on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is my professional. I've shared the link in the chat and I'm going to share it in the WhatsApp group so that you can gain access to the lectures and even the old lectures, because even the ones that as I said, this is the second time I'm teaching the course, you'll be able to go back and watch those recordings as well. So it's a win-win for you. So the link to join my YouTube channel is in the WhatsApp group as well as in the chat. All right. Okay. All right. So let's start with room 1. Go ahead for me, room 1, Rashid and Roland. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Well, our group, we were talking about an insurance company. It is.
Can you share the link or share screen, please?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
I don't know if you know of this company. It is known as Cigna.
Go ahead, just talk to us, just present to us.
How does it impact?
We don't know about Cigna. We don't know about Cigna, so you need to give us additional information, because if it's an international business, you need to kind of give us some additional information so that we understand.
All right. Rashid.
Yeah.
Speak about the background as Sigma and the and then I'll speak a little bit about the impact. Yeah, in the interest of time.
No problem.
Yeah. And then I can share some of the information that you found about it after.
All right. So Cigna is a life insurance / health insurance, right, sir? It is based in the States, United States, right? A multinational managed healthcare and insurance company based in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I can say based off certain calls that I have taken, it is a very expensive insurance company, right? It is located in Connecticut, as mentioned earlier, right? Second. it offers Medicare Essential, including hospital stays and treatments, flexible plans tailored to your needs and budgets, priority access to support from Cigna doctor and nurses, right? Whole healthcare support through a range of tools, products, and solutions, and digital portals to securely store important documents, right? Cigna coverage extends to it covers more than 200 countries and territories around the world, with over 1 million health professionals and 24/7 customer service centers offering more than 50 different languages, right? So basically, how this would tie into international assistance, as the company Cigna, it hires, well, it contracts call centers, yes, to employ people, well, mostly majority young people, to pull in and work for them, right? The shift majority is from around roughly 7 a.m. to approximately 8. We don't.
Can you speak now to how it does it operate in Jamaica?
Yes, sir, it does.
Yeah,
All right,
and so,
sir,
yes.
let me touch on that. I'll touch on that.
Mhm.
All right. So the backdrop that Rashid was giving, sir, is that Cigna is an international company that outsources some of its services to call centers, BPO and stuff like that. This company is aligned to Rashid. Could you tell me the name of the call center that it outsources in Jamaica too, please?
Betting, Alarica.
All right, very good. So this is the nexus between Jamaica and this company, sir. All right. So how it impacts our economy, our Jamaica, is that we're looking at it as the impact that the call centers have on Jamaica's economy, right? So for example, in 2020, when we had the outbreak of coronavirus, one of the negative impacts as relates to the call center was that there was a document that I'm going to share with you that states that it accounted for over 50% of the infections within that period, right? So that was a negative as relates to call centers in Jamaica, right? It is also looked at as foreign companies, right? Rich foreign companies who are getting special concessions by the government, right? Some people look at it and see it as a negative to the country that pays low salaries and limited benefits. Some of the pros that we were able to find was that it offers mass employment, to some university graduates, high schoolers, or unattached youths with limited skills. So that was a plus for the economy. And there's a spin-off from call centers being here because as relates to construction, because you have a lot of it was a boom in the construction industry, for setting up these companies, as also transportation, the banking sector, the food sector. There is a boost in those sectors within the economy, as relates to these companies coming here, right? So the document that I am going to share, if I'm permitted to do so, sir, is let's see.
You go ahead. Let's see what you're talking
All
about.
right. So this document, you're seeing my screen, sir?
It's coming up. Yes, we are now seeing it.
All right. So it says call centers and BPOs, good or bad for Jamaica. All right. So in this document, I was able to gather some of the information that I related earlier, and it was a good read, and it spoke to the impact that some of these call centers have on Jamaica's economy, and it spoke about the different ones, and there were information from different persons within the economy who could speak more about it in terms of their connection to the different companies and stuff. But we weren't able to read the entire document, but I think it's a good reading as relates to what you had asked. So.
Well, good. Thank you guys. Very, very strong start. I recommend you share the link in the WhatsApp group. That would be good so that we can all take a read when we when we have some time outside of class. But very, very good start. I like the fact that you guys were really thinking and kind of place the call center within our international business context, and let us understand the good and bad, and how even during the global pandemic, how the impact these particular call centers working on behalf of international businesses, how they affected Jamaicans and the Jamaica health sector. So really nice. So also post it in the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, Roland, thanks. All right, we do have some more time. Room 2, Alray and Demari, go ahead for me. Stop sharing screen for me, Roland, thanks.
All right, sir. So, Demari, you're here, right? Demari, you here? I might have to go soon. All right, so, sir, I'm gonna go ahead and share screen. You hearing me, right, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, sir. So, due to the limited amount of time, I came up with this amount of information. Okay, sir. So, I basically came up off the top of my brain, like my company that I work for, so Grace Kennedy. So it has known for one of the largest single entity food manufacturer in the Caribbean. So it has 50% of food sold over the Grace brand that is manufactured in one of the 6 factories that is in Jamaica. However, it is responsible for distributing Grace brands, Grace own brands, and the brands that are principal in over 40 countries. So it's the international brand, sorry. So it as it's stated right here that when they continue to serve the culinary needs of the Caribbean consumers, the company has extended their range of their product and reached out to the international market. In the area such as the United States of America, Canada, the UK, Japan, India, and it is now in Africa. So the Grace Food is responsible, hold on, sorry, sir. It is also responsible for distributed products such as Guyana, Belize, and they also have subsidiaries in these countries as well. So Grace is one of the UK most progressive food companies. It supplies a market-leading range of specialty and world food brand to the retail, wholesale, and the Grace food sector throughout the UK and European throughout its subsidiary. However, some of the impact that I came up with is that some of the impact that it has impacted the country as it relates to Jamaica, that it has a relevant tax levied by the government. So it additionally the company provides employment for over 2,000 employees, contributes to the pay of the system of taxation. So it says, by the virtue of involvement in all aspects of commercial life in Jamaica, the company helps to help with the development of rural life through its contract arrangement with farmers for agricultural produce for processing in its factories. It's also said that trucking companies find meaningful employment in providing all its service to the company. So Grace Kennedy is a major player in food manufacturing and export. They therefore impact significantly on international trade, which earn Jamaica very valuable foreign exchange. So with the export trading company, Grace Kennedy Limited, it also play a significant role in the development in non-traditional export to new market in the international arena. So it has also stated that the company has played a major contribution to various sports and sports organizations, you know, like even the Reggae Boys, as well as ISA, and the secondary ISA as well as Champs. So this is basically the end of my presentation, and these are some of the things that I came up with
Yeah. All right. So next time around, though, what I'd want you to do is kind of pull the information together for yourself, because I don't know. So very good job in terms of the presentation and how you are able to kind of pull some of the information together. But next time around, try not to. Don't open your WhatsApp. You might see what we're not supposed to see, sir. Don't open your WhatsApp. You people might have people sending all kinds of images, so don't open your WhatsApp. The Just know how to kind of synthesize the information for yourself. So yes, you're going to pull it from different sources. In the real world, you can actually call people. Well, you work here, so you can actually interview persons. So I have two questions for you, and I want you to come back to the other class answering these two questions. I was very intrigued by some of what you said. I want to know, how was it? How was Grace Kennedy as a brand able to extend into international markets? How were they able to do that, or what factors contributed to them extending into international markets? And also the second question is, do they franchise the brand in any way? So let me put that in the WhatsApp group. So
Yes, sir. Do that for me, please.
how was Grace Kennedy able to extend its, let's say, reach into international markets? And do they franchise the brand in any way? All right, so very good, very interesting presentation about Grace Kennedy. I think, can we take another one before we go? Can we take room 3? Room 3 is Alray Kemar, Kenya. Go ahead for me, please, thanks.
Sir, that
Sir,
was already that spoke a while ago, sir.
Oh, okay, so that, let me just save my WhatsApp. I took an image. That was room 3, right? Or was it room? Oh, Alray was in 2. Alray, you are. So it's room 3 now, Kemar and Kenya. Go ahead for me.
all right, okay, sir. Evelyn. Both of us are using our cell phone, but you know, when I make that stop still. Therefore, I will present on half of the presentation, and Kenya is gonna go ahead with the next half.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But maybe in the essence of time, my company may be going to take some time. So I'm going
All right,
to.
so let's pause it then. Let's pause it. So let's begin. Let's start the following class on Friday with the presentation. All right. So let's pause because it's 9:59 where I am, and it's 8:59 where you are. So let's pause. So with the other two presentations, we will begin with them on Friday. All right, and then on Friday too, we can talk about whether or not we want to really keep the Friday class, or can we shift it to another time. If there's any other time, we can talk about it on Friday. All right, I think this is a very good start. I love the energy of the class. We are small, but we are very knowledgeable about the area, and we seem very interested in terms of international business. And I can see that you're bringing your own experiences to the table to kind of, help you to have a discussion about international business. So very good start, guys. Very nice meeting everybody, and I'll see you on Friday. All right.
All right, sir.
Yeah, and please don't say Friday and don't come to class and say, oh, I'm going to go to the bar, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We will have a class, even if it's one student I'm going to teach. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel to access the recording. That's where I'm going to post the recording, all right?
All right, sir.
All right, bye everybody.